Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make that poncho that you saw right there in the photo of my mannequin wearing. I'd take it out here and show you, but it's so big. My desk space isn't big enough that you wouldn't even be able to see it all. But I want to take a minute to ask you not to forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. That way you never miss a tutorial. Whenever, if you subscribe, you'll get an update via email every time I put a tutorial on. And then if you watch this video and you like it, I'd appreciate it if maybe you could give it a like and a share, maybe on Facebook or Pinterest. But for this project, a special thanks to my friends at Red Heart for supplying today's yarn. I used the Red Heart Chic Sheep yarn. It is 100% merino wool. I love wool, and this yarn here is no exception. It's beautiful. It's very nice. It's a medium weight 4-ply, and like I said, it's 100% wool. The color I chose is a lipstick. Very pretty bright red. Very pretty red. It's very pretty. And then there's 189 yards per skein, I believe. Yes, 189. And to do the poncho like mine, I used 6 skeins. I didn't use all of 6, but I did go into the 6 skein. So that's what you'll need. And if you're going to put fringe instead of this, like I have shells on mine, if you're going to put fringe instead, you might need a 7th skein for that. Not positive, but you might. I know some people like to put fringe, so. But yeah, I'll put a link below in the description box to redheart.com and a link to where you can purchase this yarn. So thank you to Red Heart for that. And I used a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. And then you're also going to need, if you want to doll it up like mine, you don't have to. I use these 9mm acrylic little gems. They got the flat bottom. And I just put a dab of hot glue on them and hot glued them to where I wanted to. So you're going to need some hot glue. And then I put a brooch on it too. This brooch came from Walmart. But other than that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, you want to start off with a chain of 84 stitches. Now we're going to follow that chain down without twisting it. And we're going to slip stitch into the first chain to form a ring. Like that. Slip stitch. Now what I'm going to do is chain 1, and I'm going to go right back into that same stitch that we slip stitched into and single crochet. And now I'm going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around the ring until I get back to the beginning. So just like that, 1 single in every stitch until you get back to your starting point. Okay, once you make it around to the end of round 1, you want to go ahead and slip stitch into your first single crochet. Not that double, but the first single. And you should have a total of 84 stitches. Now what we're going to do is, this is a 2-point poncho, so we're going to make our first point right now. So we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to go right back into that same stitch that we just slip stitched into, and we're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet. So that is how we're going to make our points for the first half of it anyways, for the first part of it anyways. Now we're going to do, what we're going to do is we're going to work across, and we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next 41 stitches. So go right over to the next stitch, and this counts as number 1. We don't count the point as a stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, once you did your double crochet into the next 41 stitches, we're going to do a point into the next stitch. So we're going to go into the next stitch and we're going to do a double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet. So that's our point. Now what we're going to do is work 1 double crochet in the remaining stitches until you get back to the beginning, and there should be 41 that remain. So 1 double crochet into the next 41 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I've made it to the end, and I did have 41 stitches that remained, so I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into my first double crochet on my first point, and that'll end round 2. Now round 2, counting the stitches of the point, you should have a total of 86 stitches now. So for round 3, we're going to slip stitch over into that first chain 1 space, and we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to go right back into the same spot and do a point. So we're going to do a double crochet, a chain of 1, and another double crochet. So that's our point. Now we're going to go to the very next stitch and double crochet. Now we're going to double crochet in every stitch until we get to our next point. Just like that. 1 double all the way over here until we get to our next point, which is right here. Okay, I've made it to my next point, so I'm just going to go into it and put 1 double, chain of 1, and then another double. Now I'm going to continue working around 3 by putting 1 double in every stitch until I get back to my starting point. Okay, once you make it back around to the end of round 3, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get this last double crochet here, because we slip stitched over and it looks like it, you know, like maybe it's not a stitch, but you got to make sure you get that one right in the top of that slip stitch. And then we're going to end round 3 by slip stitching into the top of our beginning double crochet from our beginning point, like that. So that ends round 3. And now you should have a total of 90 stitches. So what we're going to do is repeat round 3 for a total of 6 rounds. And every round will be increased by 4 now. I know round 2 was not increased by 4, but now round 3 and 3, 4, 5, and 6 will have an increase of 4. So we got 90 now on round 3. So we'll just start again, repeating round 3 by slip stitching over into our chain 1 space. Chain 1, go back right into it and do our point, which is a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. And then we're just going to repeat by putting 1 double. Make sure you always get that first double right there. It's 1 double in every stitch till you get to your next point, and then you do your point, and then it's 1 double in every stitch back to the beginning. So I'm working on round 4 now, and we want to do it until we finish round 6. And every round is going to increase by 4. So round 4 will have 94 stitches. round 5 will have 98 stitches. In round 6 you should have 102 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up to round 6, and I'll meet you at the end of round 6. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 6 and I have 102 stitches. So we're going to start round 7 and we're going to slip stitch it over into our chain 1 space. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do another point, but we're going to do 1 double, a chain of 2, and 1 more double. So that's going to be the difference between the points this time. It's just going to be chain 2 instead of chain 1. And now we're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch until we get to our next point. Okay, I made it to the next point of round 7, so I'm just going to go right back into it and do a chain 1, or a double crochet, I'm sorry, and then chain 2 this time, and go right back in and do another double. So the only difference now is we're chaining 2 in between the points instead of 1. And now I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch until I get back to the beginning. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 7 and I went ahead and slip stitch into my beginning double crochet of this point. Now you should have 106 stitches. Now we're going to repeat round 7 for a total of 9 rounds. So you'll just slip stitch over here and start again, chain 1, go back into that same chain 2 space, double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet. So we're just going to repeat round 7. We're on round 8 right now until we get to round 9. So to be this is round 8. Once you get back to the end of it, you'll have 110 stitches, and then when you get to round 9 you'll have a total of 114. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this round, and then I'm going to do one more round for round 9, and I'll meet back up with you. Okay, I've made it to the end of round 9 and I have 114 stitches. Now round 10 we're going to do it a little different. So we're going to go ahead and slip stitch over to our chain 2 space. And we're going to chain 1, and now we're going to work 3 double crochets into this space. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to do a chain of 2, and we're going to work 3 more into the same space. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So now that's going to be our points for the pattern from now on. Now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip 1. We're going to skip this one right here. Make sure you pull that back. Skip that, and we're going to put 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So skip that. Make sure you chain 1, skip, and then 1 double crochet in the next 3. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to chain 1, skip 1, and 1 double crochet in the next 3. So I chain 1, I'm going to skip that one and put 1 double crochet into the next 3. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet into the next 3. And this is the pattern I'm going to repeat until I get to my next point. Chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet to the next 3. And this is round 10. So go ahead and repeat this pattern until you get to your next point. Okay, I'm coming to my next point, and I just did chain 3. I have one stitch here left of the point, so I'm going to chain 1, skip that stitch of the point there, and I'm going to go into the point and work 3 doubles, a chain of 2, and 3 more double crochets. Now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to repeat what I just did on this side over here. So I'm going to skip this first one and 1 double crochet into the next 3. Chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet into the next 3. So I'm doing the same thing on this side as I did on the other. Chain 1, skip 1, 1 double into the next 3. Just like that until I get back around to the end. Okay, I'm coming to the end of round 10, and I did a set of 3. I chained 1. My last one to skip is going to be this one right here that we slip stitched into the round before. So now I'm going to go ahead and end round 10 by slip stitching into my first double crochet right here. Now what you should have is 32 sets of these 3 sets of 3. So counting these, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not 36, 32, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, counting this one is 16, and 16 on the other side, so 32 sets. So round 11 is going to be the repeat now for the rest of the poncho until we get it as long as we want it to be. So we're going to start now every round by slip stitching 1, 2, 3 times to that chain 2 space, and then we'll do this point again. So we'll chain 1 and we'll go in and we'll work 3 doubles. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll chain 2, go back in and work 3 more doubles, just like that. Okay, now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to come right over here to this next chain 1 space right here, and we're going to work 3 double crochets into it. So there's 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to chain 1. We're going to jump to the next chain 1 space and work 3 double crochets into it. 1, 2, and 3, chain 1, to the next chain 1 space, work 3 doubles into it. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and that's what we're going to repeat until we get to our next point. Every chain 1 space gets 3 double crochets and then a chain 1. Okay, I've made it to my next point. I want to make sure I chain 1 after my next 3 double crochets that were in that space, and now I'm going to go into this chain 2 space and do my point. So it's going to be 3 doubles, chain of 2, and 3 more doubles. and you want to make sure you chain 1, and we're going to put 3 doubles in every single one of the chain spaces. And chain 1 after the set of 3 doubles. Jump to the next one. So we're repeating what we did on the other side. Just like that. Okay, I'm coming to around 11, and I chain 1 after this last chain 3 into that space. I'm going to end with a slip stitch into my first double crochet, and now what I'll have is 34 of these chain 3 spaces. So around 12, I'm just going to slip stitch over again, like that, and I am going to chain 1, and then I'm going to do my point, which is 3 doubles, chain of 2, and 3 more doubles. And then I'm going to just repeat around 11, chain 1, and 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. So there's 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 3 doubles into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and we're going to repeat this so we get to our next point, and then we'll put our point. We're just going to repeat around 11. So we keep repeating around 11, and every round will have 2 more sets of 3. So, and that's counting these here. So we had 32 here, 34 here, round 12 will have 36, round 13 will have 38, and round 14 will have 40, and so on and so on. And we want to repeat that till we get a poncho quite a bit longer. Okay, I went ahead and did 35 rounds, starting from our very first round of single crochet. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 35. You can do more if you like, if you want it longer, or you could do less. Just remember though, if you make it longer, you might need more yarn than what I said in the beginning. Okay, now I'm going to put a shell border around it. You can put fringe if you like, and again, fringe might need more yarn, but I'm not certain. Okay, but what I'm going to do is do some shells now. So this is round 36. This is going to be my final round. I went ahead and I slip stitch into my first double crochet. I'm going to slip stitch 1 time to the next double crochet, which will be the middle of those 3. And now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go back into that stitch and single crochet. Now the corner shells are going to be worked different than the other shells, or the point shells. So we're going to go ahead and go into this point here, this chain 2 space. So we're just going to skip this double crochet here. And we're going to put 1 double crochet in it, and then another double crochet. And now we're going to put a picot on the end of this double crochet. So we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to go back down. Some people slip stitch into that very first chain. I actually slip stitch when I make my picot kind of on the side, right there and right there. and then I slip stitch. I think that holds it better. But if you've made them before, you can make your picot however you want. Now I'm going to do another double crochet and another double crochet and then another picot. So I'm going to chain 3 and then I'm going to come back down and slip stitch right here on the side of my double. Oh, slip stitch, and that'll make that little point on the end, and that's the picot. Now I'm going to do 2 more double crochets, so there's 1 and 2, and I'm going to do a picot on this double crochet. So I'm going to chain 3 again, and then I'm going to slip stitch right back down into the side there and do my picot. I'm going to do another double crochet, and then I'm going to do another double crochet and then a picot, and then I'm going to do 1 more double crochet, and all that went into that chain 2 space. So what we put was 1, 2, we did 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and a picot, 3 double crochet, 4 double crochet, picot, 5 double crochet, 6 double crochet, picot, 7 double crochet, 8 double crochet, picot, and then 9 double crochet. So that is the point. Now we're going to do all the ones on the side the same, but I'm going to go ahead and slip or single crochet in the third or the middle of these 3. So the middle one is the second. We skip this first one, single crochet into that one like that. Now we're going to work in this chain space here, and we're going to work, it's going to be similar. We're going to do 2 double crochets. There's 1 and 2 and 3, and now we're going to do 1 picot on that third one. And then we're going to do 2 more doubles. So what we did there was 5 double crochets, and then we did a picot though in the third one, in the middle one. And then we're going to go ahead and slip stitch or single crochet, I keep saying that, in the middle of these 3 like that. And we're going to do this all the way around till we get to our next corner. So again, I'm going to work 3 double crochets through this chain space. So there's 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do a picot on the third one, and then do 2 more doubles. So that'll be a total of 5 double crochets with a picot in the middle like that. And then I'm going to single crochet in the middle of this group of 3 just like that. So that's kind of what the shells are going to look like all the way down it. And like I said, if you don't like this, you can just put a simple single crochet border, or you can put fringe. I thought about putting fringe, but I got something else coming up with fringe, so I decided to do something different on this. So we're going to go to our next chain 2 space here, or next chain 1 space, I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep getting confused. Do 3 doubles. A picot on that third one, and then go back in the same spot and do 2 more doubles. So that was 5 doubles with a picot on the third one, and a single crochet right here in the middle of this group of 3. And there it is. And that's what I'm going to do until I get to my next point. So I'll meet you when we get to the next point. Just keep continuing these 5 doubles with a picot on the middle one, and then single crocheting in the middle of these 3. Okay, I made it over here to my next point. So we're just going to do the same thing we did at the other point. So we're going to single crochet right here in the middle of this group of 3 double crochets. And now we're going to work our 9 double crochets through here, but we're going to do a picot in every other one. So I'm going to do 2 doubles. And then I'm going to picot. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to do 2 doubles. So that'll be 4. And then I'm going to picot. And I'm going to do 2 doubles. So that'll be 6. And then I'm going to do a picot. And then I'm going to do 2 doubles, so that'll be 8, picot, and then I'm going to do 1 last double at the end. So that is the one I do in the point. 9 doubles, and it's got 4 picots on it. Now I'm just going to continue doing what we were doing before down the other side. So I'm going to single crochet in the middle of this group of 3 here. And then I'm going to jump over here to this chain 1 space and do 3 doubles. Picot. And then 2 more doubles. So that was 5 doubles and a picot in the middle one, or the third one. And then single crochet in this group of 3. And now I'm just going to repeat that until I get back to my starting point. Okay, I made it all the way back around to the end. And what I want to do is end with the slip stitch into that first single crochet that we did. That was between these 3 double crochets. So just slip stitch right into that. Not that chain 1, but the single crochet. And then we can tie that off and hide the tails. Okay, I'm going to work the neck now. Okay, I have the front side of my work facing me. We're going to be working in the back, like right back here. Here's the back of the work. So you want to start, and any stitch kind of back here. I'm probably just going to start in my first stitch here on the back. And we are going to do a chain 1, and we're going to go back into that same stitch and double crochet. Now remember, we're kind of working backwards. You can see I'm working the inside of my work is, or the wrong side of my work is showing. And now I'm going to work that way. When we flip it over, the right side will be showing when we flip the color. But now I'm going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch around until I get back to the beginning. So 1 double in every stitch around the collar here. And as you can see that I'm working the wrong side. The right side's facing me right here, but when I get around to it, when I follow it around, it'll be the wrong side when I continue to work around. So I'm going to keep doing 1 double in every stitch till I get back to where I started. Okay, once you make it back around of row 1 of your collar, you should have 84 stitches, because remember we started with 84. So you want to go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet. Now that was round 1 of the collar. Now round 2 is going to be the repeat row of the collar. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go right back into the same stitch and double crochet. Oops. And now what we're going to do is put a front post triple crochet around the next stitch. So we're going to yarn over twice, and we're going to go around the post of the stitch and then do a triple crochet. So that's a front post triple. And now I'm going to do a regular double crochet into the top of the next stitch. And then I'm going to do a front post triple around the next stitch. So yarn over twice, go around the post of the stitch like that to where it's on the front of your hook, the post, and then go ahead and do your triple crochet. And then a regular double crochet into the top of the next stitch, and then a front post triple around the next. So yarn over twice, go right around the post, and triple crochet. And that's the pattern I'm going to repeat all the way around until I get back to the beginning. Double crochet in the next, and then front post triple crochet around the next. Double crochet into the top of the next, and front post triple around the next. So I'm going to repeat this until I get back to the beginning. Okay, once you make it back around to the end of round 2 of your collar, you should have ended a front post triple. Go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet, and now we're just going to repeat round 2. We're going to chain 1, go back into the same stitch and double crochet, and then we're going to front post triple around the next stitch, and then we're going to double crochet into the next, and then we're going to front post triple around the post of the next stitch, and double crochet into the next. So front post triple, and double crochet. So we're just going to keep repeating round 2. We're on round 3, and you should have 84 stitches at the end of every round. So we're working round 3 now, and we're going to keep repeating round 2. Okay, I have repeated row 2 of the collar for a total, or round 2 of the collar for a total of 6 rounds. And I ended with the slip stitch in my first double crochet. So from round 1, we got all the way up to 6. Now what I'm going to do is just go around it with single crochet just to clean it up a bit. So I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go right back into that same stitch and single crochet. And now I'm going to single crochet in every stitch all the way around. No more front post stitches or anything. It's just one single every stitch all the way around. This will be round 7 of the collar. And when you get back around, you should have a total still of 84 stitches. Okay, when you make it all the way around, after you did that row of single crochet, you want to go ahead and slip stitch into your first single crochet. Not that chain 1, but that first single. And then you can flip that yarn, if I can find my scissors, and then hide that tail. So I'm going to go ahead and hide that tail real quick. Okay, here's the finished product on Emmy. I'm outside because the lighting is always better to take pictures, but as you can see, all I did was I hot glued a jewel on the end of each one of those picots. Now that's not anything that you have to do, but that's just what I did. And I put the brooch on, and that's it. Here, I'm going to flip my camera around here so you can see a long view of it. But that's it. That's all there is to it. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to check me out on Facebook too, where you can post all your crochet items on there. And remember, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and a share. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, have a good day.